This is Matt Brown, and you're listening to Just a Good Conversation. The golden sombrero is a bad thing to get in baseball. It's even a tougher thing to live with when you're in photography. Gene Blevins lives with the fact that some of his greatest work has come up short in the Pulitzer Prize competition. 4 times Gene has been nominated for that award, and 4 times he's come up short. From the North Hollywood shootout to the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster, Gene has been in the middle of all of it and captured some of the greatest photos of our time.
Because I just came back from the firestorms, okay, unscathed. So I go to this place to, have a coffee or something like this to relax. And the waitress sort of actually got hit, and I saw her get hit, and then she spilled the thing on my arm. And I had a big blister and everything. I can't believe this. I'm in the firestorm for 3 or 4 days, unscathed, thank goodness. And I get burned from a cappuccino. Oh, God. That just, I got a free coffee out of it, so she was so apologetic. But, yeah, that was something. Yeah, it was love. That was funny.
I'm host Matt Brown. Take a listen to our archives. My guests have ranged from Oscar winners, police detectives, professional soccer players, and professional photographer James Quantz Jr.
I can remember back when I was trying to figure out different things, and I would work with certain photographers or be like kind of a ghost on the set, and some photographers were open about what they were doing, others were kind of, for lack of a better word, jerks about it, and not they didn't want you to see certain things. And I just remember how I felt being around those types that were closed off, thinking that they were doing something that I don't know, some, a style of work that they just weren't going to share because it was what they had come up with. And I don't know, to me, that just kind of put just a really bad taste in my mouth. And, I just kind of told myself, don't ever be that type of person. But, not just even a photographer, that type of person.
The rest of my conversation with James can be found on our archives at justagoodconversation.com. Let's take a quick break for a sponsor before diving into part 2 of my conversation with Gene Blevins. Maine Farmhouse Brands was started by Dan McCool, a healthcare professional. His goal was to make premium soap. Most people may not realize how important the right soap is for their health and the difference between soap and detergent. Soap is made from natural ingredients like animal and plant fats, whereas detergent is made from synthetic, often harsh chemicals, even fossil fuels like petroleum. Maine Farmhouse Brands makes their own soap with natural ingredients, free from harsh chemicals. So if you want to keep your skin healthy and clean, I would recommend using Maine Farmhouse Brand soap instead of detergent. You can find their body wash, shave soaps, laundry soap, and beard oils, and more at mainfarmhousebrands.com. When did you start getting into launch photography?
That's with one of my friends, Bill Hartenstein, photographer for Aviation Week magazine. Sort of got me into it back in it was the late 90s. So that was pretty cool. Then he said, "Yeah, you got to come out for a shuttle launch."
That he had done a lot of them.
He's already done this stuff already.
And he just thought, "Hey, Gene, you really
check this out." So
you want to hang out with me at 4 a.m?
Yeah, different hours. Oh God, yeah, believe me, we've done this.
Oh God, yeah. You've worked all hours doing that kind of stuff.
Our longest hours was 30 hours at the Cape. Yeah, and we were both trying to get. I was the passenger. He was driving. We were both exhausted because so many things were happening. This was at the end of the shuttle era. And there were so many things happening at the Cape that weren't going to happen again. We had to get everything. And so we finally got done like 9:30, 10 in the morning. Oh, God. So Bill's trying to drive. I'm hit. I can't do anything. My eyes are blurry. I go, that's it. I can't do anything right now. I shut my computer off. Bill's driving almost like he's drunk, but he's exhausted. So
right.
So I'm slugging him in the arm to keep him awake. Yeah. Oh, God. We made it to the hotel in Cocoa Beach. Oh, yeah. So we just got everything on a loader, took everything in, and, oh, God, we crashed out. Oh, God. I think I didn't wake up till 7 in the evening. We got to bed about 11 o'clock in the morning, took showers, cleaned up, and just crashed. And I finally woke up about 7 o'clock in the evening. I was starting to get hungry. We had no food. So there was a pizza bar place next door was really good. And yeah, that's how we did that. That was something else.
So when he says, hey, come out and try this with me, I think you'll really like it. Are you thinking, no way in hell I want to go shoot rockets? Or did you think, oh, this could be interesting?
It was exciting because, from the shuttle, I forget what that date was, but my first shuttle in Florida was 1999. Okay. So, and
what shuttle was it? Do you remember?
Oh God, back then, God.
It's like your love. You got to remember your first shuttle launch.
I know what the pictures are. They were mostly film. I think I had film back then. So he set my camera up on I set my only camera on his tripod to be somewhat close. And so that worked really good. Shot it from the press site. It felt like an earthquake. Oh, it was crowded because when you see the shuttle take off the pad, you don't hear the sound for about 6 seconds.
Right.
It takes that long to travel 3 miles to where you're at. And back then, they had these grandstands that used to be there before they got taken out by a hurricane. And the sound hit me. Oh, God, it was like a Harley Davidson. But it went past me, hit the bleachers, and then bounced back and hit us in the back, and the whole ground just shook like an earthquake. And the sound is like hits you in the chest and everything.
You feel it.
Yeah, you feel it, and then it comes down to your head as the shuttle gets higher.
Was that stunning?
Oh yeah, that was adrenaline. That was like so cool to see that and feel it. And it's over in less than 2 minutes. It's gone. But yeah, so I started in 99, and then I started doing stuff with him up at Vandenberg, and that's how it's been kept going till now.
Were you hooked after the first one? Like you're like, oh, I'm all in. This is awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty hooked, but it is a little expensive to get a Florida hotel and come back. You know, it's not quite too cheap, but back then it wasn't too bad. But so I decided, okay, I'll do a shuttle probably once a year, maybe twice a year, because they were launching them like every 3 months, and it was like no one was paying attention that much because it was just like getting boring. Like
it became old hat.
Yeah, same old thing like SpaceX right now. They're doing one every 10 days.
So you didn't even go up to Vandenberg and shoot anything for like the Daily News. There wasn't even a thought. It wasn't until this guy says, "Hey, come out to Florida."
Yeah, Bill told me about it. I was already friends with him, but he told me about it and everything. And so I did that, and then I started going to Vandenberg, and the lots of the rockets they had back then were going to be. That's it.
Was it even lucrative to even go out there and shoot it?
No, it was fun setting up the remotes
But was there any money? Like
there was some money in it. Yeah, to a point. Yeah, to a point back then.
Because you got to make your return in like flight and hotel and food.
For Florida and everything, yeah, I did okay with the shuttle. I probably made twice with expenses and everything. Probably I made that back plus 2.
Okay.
Or
so double. Like Aviation Weekly magazines or whatever you're trying to sell.
They went nuts when Columbia broke up.
Right, but that's years later.
Yeah, that they really went nuts with that. But no, I just did stuff with the paper with that, and I had some other clients back then to a point, and just it was just a shuttle launch, so it's like really not that newsworthy. So
was everybody back then in '99 kind of doing the same thing?
You had a lot of photographers out there.
Okay.
They
you're Florida photographers.
Florida photographers. And so, but for out here, no one's.
Because we really got normally the landing, right? Like at Edwards, we would get the landing, and then they would fly it out on the
sometimes we had to be up there, before they made the decision.
Right.
Because you had to be there. They take you out to the desert. So we got lucky a few times, and sometimes we didn't. So, landing here or Florida.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then how quickly did you decide like you're going to do another one and then another one and another one? Because
I figured twice a year was enough back then. Okay. And then some other friends wanted to go with me to shoot the shuttle. So I got them in on a couple of launches, and they were happy with that. And so
did you start getting the things you needed for a launch? Because you need the vibration timer and all the other little
I started getting timers and stuff. Yeah, the rig up what Bill had. And, he used enclosures because of the weather. Okay. A lot of these guys just put their cameras in paper, plastic bags, and they still do that today.
I've seen that. Like they don't even, they just bags and zip in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cheap way But being that we shoot stuff in Vandenberg, you know how bad the weather can get in Vandenberg. So you want everything to be kept because
the moisture and the water. And
I have a fan inside. Bill uses heat packs and fans. And so, if there's a scrub, the thing can stay up there for a week and be fine.
Wow.
With those timers that we had.
Right.
Yeah. So we never had to worry about it. Other people, what they use now, was that MyOps thing or something? It's sound activated, but the problem is when you set up the camera and everything and turn that thing on, the camera is live.
Oh.
So it just depends how long your batteries last. Yeah, our setup is we put the thing in auto, it stays in sleep mode until it hears a rocket take off. If it doesn't, it just never wakes up.
Right.
Yeah. So the way we program it. But these guys use these other things. Well, they're launching pretty much all the time.
Is there an
now.
advantage or disadvantage to one over the other?
Yeah. Ours, I can leave my camera out there for a whole week if it's scrubbed. Don't have to worry about power. It's not turned on.
But what's the disadvantage to the way you do it? Is it maybe
there is
none?
It's all concealed
Enclosed.
inside the remote tube. So if there's some rain that comes by or moisture, it just the only thing that's going is the fan.
Right.
I think I did a test with that. It takes 2D batteries, and the fan went. I got them at Big 5. The thing went over 5 days with no problem.
And the fans for humidity, right?
Just to keep the everything the airflow going.
Right.
Yeah. And the heat packs, because there are cold times up there, we get these 18-hour heat packs from Big 5 that go put them on the camera.
Like those hand warmers?
Yeah, hand warmer things. And we use those to keep everything sort of warm for 18 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. But what the other photographers use is those other timer sound activated things. They work and everything, but they're constantly on.
Yeah, that could be a big disadvantage.
Yeah. And a good example of that was one time I was at the shuttle launch, and we were going to go out there at lunchtime to do our stuff, because usually it was the time when they take the astronauts with their families around the shuttle, so they want everybody out of there. Mm-hmm. So we went in afterwards, and apparently the thing called the Hill, there was a bunch of photographers back then. Their stuff was live, and somehow they sent up a generator with some lights. So we get there, and the generator's going, and I'm hearing click, 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 all this clicking going off. All these cameras are going off in the daytime from this generator. So I told our assistant guy from NASA, and I told him, I said, hey, you better make a call. Listen to this. He heard all the cameras, some of the cameras starting to click from this generator. So he got the guys out there to move the generator away and put a page out to everybody. Anybody who's set up on the hill with live cameras, come back and reset, because they've been going off from a generator.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
See, I don't know how big their cards were back then, but they
doesn't matter, right?
It depends. Yeah. But so a lot of them had to come back and reset, and and he told me, like, yeah, Gene heard it and I heard it, so we got the generator moved back away, so the sound didn't activate the cameras. So I saved a lot of people's asses that day.
Yeah, you did.
It'll be a lot of lunches.
Because there would have been a lot of pissed off people. They show up with blank cards and photos
already full before the shuttle.
Well, right, blank with the shuttle, but full
just
of
sitting there. Like, wait a minute, I didn't.
What the hell? Yeah, what the hell made this noise?
Yeah, lucky we went out to lunch after the astronauts did the tour with their families. We went out afterwards, and lucky we caught this generator that was too close. They didn't know. Yeah, but luckily we caught it.
So how invested are you before Columbia? Are you starting to now shoot all the kind of launches and re-entries?
Well, it's really changed.
It's only 4 years from the time you start to 2003 when there's the Columbia incident.
Right, and then there was I think it's 2 years. It was down from there, and then the first shuttle since the accident, I did that, and then 2011 when it was was going to be the last 3 shuttles. So me and Bill went out there to cover the last hoist, up, lift, mount, roll out to the pad. They go up a couple of days later or whatever, and then them landing and everything like that at nighttime. That was a real challenge.
So it's really interesting. Something that seems that should be so not secretive but secure, is allowing basically civilians to come on out, put cameras on these pads, and shoot.
Well,
I mean, you're credentialed. You're not like
credentialed.
you're not just
they check everybody out,
right.
So.
But you're not Jim and Dick just wandering
No,
around.
you can't do that.
But
can't do that. No.
But you are just it's not like they said, okay, only NASA's out here, and they say AP, the LA Times, right? Getty.
There's
like
a lot more people.
And, keep it to 4.
Yeah, no.
No,
They
I mean,
allow all the news people there and stuff like that.
right.
To
I mean,
set
what's the most you've seen at a launch?
up. For people?
Yeah,
Oh, geez. It had to be the last launch.
shuttle launch.
The last shuttle launch. It was, I think it was a launch before that. There's a fence around the shuttle pad. Mm-hmm. We could never set up on the other side.
Right.
They finally allowed us to set up for the last 2 launches on the other side.
Whoa.
So, man,
How much closer are you?
Oh, probably 50 yards, about 75 yards.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
Gene.
you're right there in the grass, and you're setting up with a wide angle, and the shuttle's right there, and we finally we wanted to get that close because we're further back on the outside of the fence after all these years, so they knew the thing has come to an end. Let the photographers on the grass part at a certain point.
Were you worried how close you are? I mean,
Not really. No, it was just we had to get the weather report as like where the smoke is going to go.
yeah, right. There's all this physics involved of like
Smoke.
weather and
yeah.
smoking.
So you don't want to get your shot blocked. So, but we set up on the grass. It was great, and
Cameras were damaged, or did they survive?
no damage. No, everything was fine.
The heat didn't reach out.
Yeah, takes 6 seconds to go from the pad to the towers. It's already doing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
After 6 seconds. So, but yeah, we got to do that finally. We got to set up close, get the pictures. It was great.
What did you use like for the last one? Did you use your digital, obviously, wide angle,
Yeah, wide angle for the close-up one. That was nice.
motor drive?
Oh yeah. Set the camera to shoot 3.5. I think. No, back then they didn't have that option. It's either high or low.
Okay.
I think 5 frames, 10 frames a second, or 3.
Right.
So yeah, we set up pretty much high speed all the time because once it goes up, it's gone.
Right.
So,
There's nothing to see
yeah, but
after
got
that.
great pictures. Oh, it's nice. Looking right up the engines and everything. Oh God! But on the last launch, we got the tour, the shuttle, go out to the pad, go up the elevator, get pictures, go underneath it with the engines right in your face and everything. Yeah, we got a full tour. Oh, that's great. That was awesome.
Now, are you Gene from the LA Daily News at this time? Is that who you're credentialed?
Listen,
Good God, did the Daily News know how good they had it by having a guy willing to go out there?
at that time, when they saw the pictures, they liked them. Yeah, but I wanted to do it. It was fun to do. I had other clients that wanted it, and then after the shuttle accident, they went nuts over that. What happened? And I got pictures, and so yeah.
Well, how do you make things different than all the other people that are there, right? Because like it's a rocket on a stick, and it's gonna go. You got to make something that distinguishes yourself from everybody else, so obviously you have a better chance of selling it. Now you have all these other things in place, like hope the remote goes off, the vibration, the sound, my battery.
That's why you set up multiple cameras because
fans.
Things don't work out right, either camera error or photographer error.
Sure.
That happened to me once there at Atlas 5 launch.
Is that frustrating when you screwed up?
After we went to the third remote and none of the windows were open. That means
right.
And I like, okay, this is my error. What happened? So we picked up the stuff, went back, and I was a day off on the timers.
Oh no!
I didn't notice it. Yeah, so I got nothing on the Atlas 5.
You have like June 6th and it's the 17th or something.
No, it's just I was a day ahead of time.
Oh,
so the things didn't open up till tomorrow. Yeah. They didn't go off on that day. Yeah, that was like...
That's a punch in the gut.
Okay, when I saw the first remote, the window was open. Okay, maybe it didn't fire. When I saw the second one didn't open, I'm like, oh boy. And when we got to the third, I'm like, okay, I screwed up. So I knew it was my mistake. And I was a day off on the timers. And so that's why you got to do these things. I always do it right here by myself, slowly, make sure everything's going to get the day right. Don't have to worry about the date, just the day right, the time, AM or PM, and make sure you got the extra space on the window, depending on what it is. Yeah, right. It takes some time on that.
So how are you thinking? Like, what's your process to be like, okay, Gene's got to make this best photo to beat out these other people?
Well, it depends what it is.
Okay.
What I did that no one did on the last day of the shuttle, it was crowded there at the press
I'm
site.
sure it was a goddamn circus.
I saw this. So what I did is I set up a camera halfway at the press site, aiming at all the photographers. Okay. To have it shoot them and get them all doing their jobs. And so I did that. No one else did it. So I said, it was they all love the photograph. All the photographers there looking up, and everything the last time. And no, they loved it. They loved it. I was the only one that did that. Getting all the photographers.
Yeah.
Doing
their response, them shooting.
Yeah, shooting the shuttle. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Do you like that fact that you were able to think outside the box when everybody else?
I always try to think outside the box. I always like that when I set up for Vandenberg, the beginning days, I always like to try to do a trick shot, I call it. And so, okay, what can we do to make this different, something different or whatever? Mm-hmm. So I remember one time I had a Delta II rocket I had a photograph, so I wanted something different. So we had the remotes out at the rocket pad. So I went the day of the launch, the night of the launch, I decided to go to the front gate where I could see Vandenberg, the sign. I did this twice now. This is the second time I did, where I got a streak shot going behind the sign and making a left turn. It just worked. I had to work with these floodlights. Oh God, that was a bitch. But I made it work. Did time exposures to check it, and it came out great.
Yeah, because their exposures are probably,
those floodlights, on the sign.
Yeah, you got to get them hot enough because people don't realize a launch is very hot in the exposure. It's very bright.
Yeah, you don't want to be too overexposed. So
yeah.
Or not that much, but if you're overexposed, you're screwed. If you're under, you can play with it a little bit. These days, it's gotten better. But yeah, so I did that twice, a daytime and a nighttime, where I got the last of the Titan IV rocket launches at the south gate. So you can see the tip of the rocket over the sign behind the mountain. It's like, oh, this is great. Get the sign, get the rocket going up between the palm trees. Oh yeah. So I shot from out there. It worked out great. Got the rocket going up, the Vandenberg sign, everything. Yeah, it was beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah. So I did the same thing with this one at nighttime, and it just went under my frame. That was in the frame. I had like a half an inch left of space, but it worked. I think it was last of the deltas going off.
Jesus.
So yeah, so that worked out really good.
So walk me through that Columbia incident. That's crazy. I remember when I heard that and I thought, damn it, this guy's done enough crazy shit and he's doing this too. Like you actually captured.
Well, it was supposed to be an artistic shot.
Right.
Yeah, but this is.
So walk me through that day again.
Basically,
what's Gene thinking?
It involves Bill too. When I came over to Bill's,
and again, it's another February.
Yeah.
Why do all your major incidents happen in the shortest month of the year?
I didn't know. Really? Yeah, there are.
February 1st, 2003.
Yeah. The way that one got started was over at Bill's shop, and he told me I think he just came back from the shuttle launch. I think he went to it, but he found out that, okay, we got the shuttle coming in for the first time in 6 to 7 years, crossing California, leaving a plasma trail like a meteor over the California, heading from northwest going east. Mm-hmm. I'm like, really? Yeah. He showed me a few clips of from Texas.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. So we got to get something in the foreground. But how about the woolly mammoth of the mammoth? He goes, no, we got to be more south. He remembered some place up there with these radar dishes. And so we found, and the internet was just getting started too. It was just starting, but it was sort of there. And so,
especially with mapping and stuff like that.
So Bill, he sort of looked it up and he found the name of the place, and they showed the dishes with the Sierra Mountains behind them, Owens Valley Observatory. I go, that's the picture. He goes, what? He goes, the shuttle coming across over these dishes, will it work? And he sort of calculates, he says, yeah, it's going to be between the North Star and the mountains. It's going to come right between them. I go, that's the picture. We try to find out.
Yeah.
Who's operating the place. And so we finally found out, I think about a day or two trying to find out, Bill finally got a call from the guy, or got the guy's number up there. And there was a Australian guy named Tony Beasley. And we told him who we were. We told him what's happening. And he was like, really? He was all excited. Yeah, it's going to come right over your dishes.
Yeah, that's cool for him.
And so he said, yeah, you guys can come up. Just don't climb on the dishes. We said, fine, no problem. So we went up there the night before, or sort of the day before, that night. And we told him, like, okay, how often do these dishes move? And he said every 30 minutes they move. So and they were in a good position where they were. Are they going to be at this position tomorrow morning at, I think it was 4 or 5 in the morning? And he said, yeah, they should be that way. Very little movement. And I'm like, okay, great. So what Bill calculated was the night shot this night is going to be the same lighting as it's going to be when the sun's coming up from the east, when the shuttle comes across. So we did some testing. And this shuttle is going to be, I'll tell you, like, so we did some testing, got it okay, great. So we went to Bishop, got the hotel dinner and everything. And then we got up, I think, at 3 in the morning, got ready, and we're listening in to NASA, giving them the okay to de-overburn, to come on in. And
now, who are you listening to, NASA?
The NASA channel.
Okay.
They're talking to the shuttle. Bill had those frequencies, and so...
Wow, that's so cool that you can really dial in on that stuff.
Oh, yeah, it was really something. And we were about halfway down. They gave the okay to de-overburn. They're coming in. Like, okay, so we rushed down there, and it's 41 degrees. It's cold. Oh, man, we're drinking coffee like it was nothing.
Well, it's February.
It was cold up there. So we went to the spot that we tested out our stuff. We set up. I have 3 remote cords with gloves on. What I want to get, I was shooting film and digital. I was doing both. I want to see what was happening, what could happen to be safe.
And that's early digital, too.
D1Hs or D1s. I can't remember. D1 or D1H. Nikon.
Yeah, probably an H. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
so,
still.
yeah. So I wanted to be safe to get it. So I said, I'm going to do film too. So just to be safe. And so we're setting up. We're getting really close. And all of a sudden, toward the northwest, way on the top of the Sierras, this bright light comes on. And we thought it was like an off-road vehicle turning on their KC lights. I'm like, man, this guy has got some bright lights. What the hell? It's going to get in the way of our shot. The thing starts moving. And it's the shuttle coming in at Mach 11. If you want to know what Mach 11 is, that's California to Florida in 18 minutes. Yeah, that fast. And we realized it was a shuttle. We saw the light, but it wasn't moving. Then it started moving. There was a shuttle. Like, Bill, I told him, it's coming in. So we got everything. I threw on my gloves, so my fingers were somewhat warm. And then this thing was coming in so fast, and it lit up the sky. It streaked across. We got the pictures. And that's why I witnessed the first thing about the shuttle. I saw like some red lava chunks coming off of it. I thought that was normal, coming into the atmosphere and everything like that. And it streaks across the sky. Right, Bill had it on the money, right under the North Star, between the Sierra Mountains and the North Star. And then I didn't want to have it still going on past the mountains, so I closed the exposures right when it got to the mountains. And after I did that, probably about a second or so of that, it looked like the shuttle dropped a red flare. Something red, bright, big dropped from it. I'm like, I go, Bill, did you see that? He didn't see it, but I told him, like, it looked like the thing dropped a red flare, which I know it didn't, but something came off. Didn't think much about it. It was still going. So, so the thing went on its way. We started getting some other pictures of the sunrise, the big dishes. And so he calls in on his national channel to get updates. And he turned white as a ghost. I thought he was going to die on me. I go, what's wrong? He goes, it's gone. What, the shuttle? Yeah, it just went by. He goes, no, it's off radar. I go, are you sure? Maybe a malfunction? He goes, no, he's listening in. He goes, it broke up. I go, I told you I saw something come off the shuttle because I saw this big red flare. And I thought he was going to pass out and die on me. He was just turned white. He goes, yeah, they lost our radar. We're getting reports. It's breaking up over Texas and Louisiana in that area because that's the way it was going. And so we got our stuff all together. We went to the control room where there was millions of dollars of equipment, but not one TV. No TV in it, just computer stuff to control the dishes. So we get our laptops up, or at least mine with the digital, and we see the streak, and it has this red streak in the plasma trail. And my friend's talking to his contacts in Florida and says, "Yeah, we're looking at Jesus' photos. There's something in the plasma trail, red, like something's on fire." And so right after that, Beasley shows up. And he says, "Oh, guys, that was something." I watched the thing come like right over me, because where we were is 40 miles to the north, 80 miles up. That's where it was. And so Beasley comes by and says, "Oh, guys, that was awesome." He's drinking stuff. "Yeah, that was really incredible." And go, "Yeah, it was incredible before it broke up." And he didn't know about it. He didn't know it broke up yet. It was just happening. And so we told him we were trying to find a TV to see stuff. He goes, "Okay, follow me. We'll go down to the cafeteria." So we got it back on our cars, and we went down to the cafeteria, about half a mile away. And then we got the TV on, and that's where we started seeing the footage coming in from Texas of all the parts breaking up over Texas. And what we didn't notice was that Beasley started writing a report about this while it was still fresh in his mind, what he witnessed. And in the report, we showed him the pictures, and he put that in the report that, "Yeah, I'm looking, and we have two photographers here, and I'm looking at one of the pictures of the plasma trail going across with a red streak in it." Wow. Yeah. And we didn't know he was doing this. So we talked with him a little bit, and then we were going to make contact with him later. We got a 4-hour drive back home. Yeah. So we started going back.
Now, what gear did you have? What are you set up with? Like, what lenses are you using to capture this?
D1s or D1Hs.
Okay.
Let's say D1Hs, yeah. And, yeah, all Nikon. And I shot JPEG, well, back then, a large, whatever.
Okay.
I had questions about why you didn't shoot RAW. Well, RAW wasn't really much of a thing back then. If I shot RAW, we would have to go to Nikon and get a special program to open those pictures.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, to get NX something, yeah.
Yeah, that whatever it was, I go, I'm not going to deal with that.
Adobe did not open up their RAWs at that time.
Yeah, not really. It wasn't much known about it yet. But the stuff came out good. So
what lenses were you using?
Oh, God, probably 20 millimeters or so. It was going to be a long streak. We had to stay wide to get the dishes and the streak. So
no telescope lenses?
No, it was nighttime.
Yeah.
That thing's going to Mach 11. You can't keep up that thing.
Yeah.
You could really see the shuttle, just the streak.
Right, it's the streak.
Yeah.
The streak is the shuttle.
Yeah. Streak of the shuttle of the plasma trail at least behind. And so it was getting lit up from the sun rising from the east.
Right.
So it lit up. It just lit up the sky. Oh, the whole valley of the Sierras just lit up for like 4 or 5 seconds. Whoa. Oh, it was crazy. We didn't hear anything, but
I mean, okay. So, are you thinking you're witnessing history at that moment?
I go. This is going to be big. We just went up there to get an artistic shot. Okay?
Yeah. You're looking for something pretty.
Yeah. It was a good idea. So, but once we found out what happened, this is a big story. We got the pictures, the first pictures at least starting to break up, and which was later learn about it, what happened. So, yeah, we left, and we started to head home, and about 2 hours into the drive, my boss calls me up and says, "I guess you heard about the shuttle." I go, "Yeah." Well, when did you go up to Palmdale? Because that's where the shuttle was built and everything. I go, "Well, we're coming back from Owens Valley Observatory. We got the shuttle streaking across right when it was starting to break up. We've seen the pictures already in digital." He's like, "You got to be kidding me." I go, "No, we got to come across."
And you have film too. We
haven't processed it yet. We haven't processed it. We're just, it's in the morning. Yeah, we haven't processed it. It's just the digital we can see with the laptop.
Yeah.
And my boss goes, "Get your ass to the office as fast as you can." I go, "We're 2 hours out." Okay, we're halfway done.
We'll be there when we get there.
Yeah, we get there. But yeah, it's we saw it on the computer. I described to him what we got, and we got the same thing on film. We wanted to see. Well, I don't know when we processed. I think a day later we processed the film because the digital thing worked. And so after that phone call, I get another phone call from a friend of mine, Pete Termatrio from KFWB, great guy. I go, "What are you calling me for?" And he goes, please tell me you're one of the 2 photographers that were up north of California, got the shuttle coming across. I go, yeah, me and Bill. He's like, oh, let me do an interview right now. I'm driving. Go, pull over. Don't just give me 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'll do anything for Pete. So we did a full quick interview, what happened and everything like that.
What time is this? Like,
this is like, it's, what, I think
7 in the morning?
Yeah, probably 7 or 8. You know, we didn't stay there long. We had to get back.
What, 395 or the 14?
Yeah, 395 going up to Mammoth.
Yeah.
So that's where Owens Valley is. And
I will now never drive that route without thinking there's at some point Gene did an interview on the radio, right?
He just told me, I don't want to lose your signal. I got you real good. Just pull over.
And
don't
that's
move.
important to him.
Back then. Yeah. And we were just getting out from the hills. So I did the interview with him.
Oh, my God,
real
Gene.
quick. And he's like, Gene, thank you. I owe you dinner. So we'll meet up later. Oh, hell's regulars. Okay. And so we got back to the office.
Now, are you listening to the radio?
Bill's doing all that.
Yeah.
Listening to well, we pretty much got all the info on the TV sets. It broke over Texas, went into Louisiana. And so we got pretty much all we wanted. And so Beasley did that report and mentioned our names and everything. He said, I saw a picture of one of Gene's photo of the Plaza Trail and a red streak in it. And he sent that in when we left, I think a little bit after we left. And so NASA got that, the first report from the West Coast. And they were just like, wow, pictures. They got pictures. So I got back to the office. We finally got back to the office. Bill came with me, and he wants to see the pictures. I told him I got film. I think we processed. We processed it there.
Okay.
I think we did, but anyway. The plasma trail with the red streak, that was incredible. But what the film got was the streak going across, but it looks like there's a little bright spot in the streak. Like, what is that? Something, a little flare up. A little flare up, yeah. So we try to enlarge it, make a different kind of a print, we have the scanners make it, so we're doing everything by computer, trying to see what this bright point is. We're able to burn it down, and it looks like it's a backfire out of a tailpipe. It looks like fire coming out like out of a tailpipe.
Sure.
Yeah. This little bright spot just passing the North Star when that thing showed up. So, so that worked out really good. And we didn't know what it was or what happened. We figured it had to be the start. But when that shuttle took off in Florida, the launch, they had that wing damage. Mm-hmm. So what they were able to determine where the shuttle was compared to the stars and everything, the investigator, there was the hole was starting to rip open, get like somebody with a blowtorch, and that's what they're like. It came off and met a flare into the plasma trail. It was starting to break apart right there. Whoa. Yeah, and I saw red lava chunks coming off of it, but I thought that was normal. But don't know what that was, but that was the start. So I told Bill, when Bill said the shuttle broke off, let's go over to the Sierra, see if we can see anything, or did it crash there? He goes, no, it's over in Texas and Louisiana. I'm like, okay, well, forget that. And so, that whole day went crazy. And then Beasley sent that report in. And I think about 2 or 3 days later, I got a call from NASA. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in charge of the investigation on the West Coast for the accident. And he goes, is this Gene? I go, yeah. He goes, where's Bill? I go, he's right behind me. We're going back into the office right now. He goes, okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. I saw the pictures. We heard about the pictures. I go, where did you get the information from for the West Coast? For this Tony Beasley guy. He filed a report. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's the administrator at the Owens Valley. So he filed a report. So this NASA guy says, I want you to get all your camera gear together with the cards in there, with the images, and send it to Houston. I'll give you the address later. Just get all packed there. I go, are you serious? He goes, just make a list. What the cost is, we'll take care of it. I'm like, okay, all right. So me and Bill, we had to send all of our equipment to Houston with the cards in there of the digital cameras and a list and what it would cost to reimburse. And they reimbursed no problem. And it just went from there. And I got those pictures with me if you want to see them. But
I mean, NASA just basically bought your gear, right?
Yeah, they bought all our gear. The gear that we used to photograph the shuttle, streaking across. So that was like 3 or 4 cameras of mine, the lenses, the cards. They wanted
Right.
I think they took the remote cartridges, just put in everything. And from those pictures, they were able to determine when it started breaking up by the stars and everything
Right.
on our photographs.
And they want the camera because that was on the sensor. They want to make sure the lenses don't have any weird,
Nothing's been a little bit.
Right.
Just put in that image. So I said, no problem. You'll get the image on the digital. I shot film too, so I send them. They I think they took that negative or not. I had to send a negative to them. They sent it back. The negative is in a stockpile somewhere. But so all that stuff's in Houston. So they were able to determine where the shuttle was by the stars, where it started burning up, everything until they found the black box.
What did that cost them? How much how much was that gear?
I got a check for about $11,000. I think Bill got about 8 or 9.
Then you got to go to Sammy's or wherever and
That's
buy
why,
new gear.
or what's a Woodland Hills camera back in the day?
Woodland Hills camera. That's
good old Scott there. He did.
Yes.
He worked. I told him what happened, and
Scott, hook me up, baby.
hook me up. I can't get my gear back. This is what happened. He's like, oh my God. He's
Was
like,
any of it new gear, old gear?
all new gear.
No. That you were using, was it?
It was all new.
Because, you might as well try
D1Hs.
to upgrade at that point.
Yeah, it was an upgrade. So I upgraded Canon at that time.
So you switched.
I switched.
Was that
they
something
have-
you wanted to do? You just couldn't financially come up with $11,000?
Yeah, I got $11,000, but Canon had a better camera. Got a better camera at that time.
Yeah.
And so let's go with Canon. I've gone back and forth.
Oh, yeah. Well, as every photographer has.
It's depending where you're shooting.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I think after everything was replaced, I went about $100 left. I was trying to save money, trying to.
Well, okay. Did you sell those photos though and make any money?
Oh yeah, they went ever. They used the photograph and everything for the final report of the shuttle thing. Yeah, this thing going across. You seen the photo, right? Or-
No. Yeah. I mean, 20 years ago.
Okay. So,
Is that like those are two between the Hollywood shootout and that shuttle? Those are events a person should get, right? Not the same person should get, right? It would be like Nicky getting the Pulitzer like he did in '74, and then 20 years later he gets like the same kind of like Pulitzer. Like that's unbelievable to be in that two places at the same time like that. Have you thought of it that way? Because when I was researching,
no, it's just being there at the right place at the right time. Me and Bill were just going up the Owens Valley to get the shuttle coming across, be a great streak shot, and look what happened.
but you could have told Bill like, I'm taking the night off.
Well, we didn't know
I
what
got a hot
happened
date.
till he got on the phone and turned white. I thought he was going to die on me. Yeah. So
You could have left Bill up there dead, for God's sake. The man probably almost did have a small heart attack.
I thought he was. The look on his face, I'm like, okay, something happened. And then when he told me,
His heart must have stopped and he
oh
must
yeah,
have sunk.
yeah, oh yeah, it did. So like he got his color back, and we went to the control room, and then the rest was history. So
I mean, how easy is it to, or how difficult is it to cover a launch after covering that one? Was there kind of like a weirdness
well,
for
we
you?
were down for 2 years after that.
Yeah, like things did shut down.
Investigation and everything. Yeah. No, it doesn't really bother me. It was great to see it get back in the swing of things. So yeah, I went out there for the first launch, got the landing. I did that. Okay, that was sort of newsworthy, of course. And after that it was like, and I did a couple of times until 2011 when the last three launches,
the last three
was coming to an end. So I covered all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that became interesting old hat, because I remember as a kid, you probably remember this well, like it was super awesome to watch those early shuttle launches. They would be at the crack of dawn. My dad would get us up. We'd be like half awake, and he's like, "You got to watch this. This is unbelievable."
My dad woke me up for the Apollo moon landing.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was like 5 a.m. or something. And he's like, "You got to watch this. This is history."
But in the 90s, it became like,
it came like SpaceX now.
Right.
It's becoming
a
boring.
shuttle launch, whatever.
Yeah. So yeah,
But
so.
not until tragedy, and then as it ended, did people get interested in it again.
Yeah. So everything got after Challenger. I mean, I wasn't shooting back then.
87, sure.
Yeah, so I just got out of high school, and I mean, I was shooting, but not that. But waking up to that and seeing what happened, and then I did the first landing after Challenger. It was up at Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what a scene out there! The way they set up stuff for us. I stopped at the back of my convertible. We're listening to on the scanners. They gave the D over burn. They're coming in Edwards, and it was something to see. They had a scaffolding up there. I think AP was up there, Reuters was up there, and somebody else. Those guys shot the shuttle come in, bang, bang. I sort of watched them after it landed. They put everything in those bags, those photo bags. They dropped it down below to somebody to catch them. They got in their car and they split back to L.A. I saw that. I'm like, oh, those guys are going to get ahead of everybody.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, they got out of there. I think once the parachute came out.
Deploy, yeah.
The deploy parachute, they got the film in the bags. They dropped it. Those guys
drop it, go.
Got it out there. I thought that was pretty cool back then.
Yeah.
But,
no, that was high speed.
That was high speed back then. Yeah, it was all film. So, yeah, that was like, oh, that was pretty cool. It was like 2 or 3 drivers take off and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, well, I didn't have to worry about that. It was early in the morning anyway or something like that. So we got the pictures landing. That was the first one. And then I really didn't do much until Columbia.
Tell me about how things have improved for you, because I'm fascinated about the shuttle stuff, the launches. My dad was in aerospace, and so when I knew I was going to have you on, I was like, oh, I gotta have him walk me through this process. How has it changed from your first couple ones to now, with like the gear you use and the cameras and the remotes and what you're putting together and making?
The remotes and the timers are pretty much have been the same till they got ripped off. Okay. So
but those are pretty bulletproof, right?
Yeah, you got to be careful. It's like a heart.
All right.
That thing, I kept those things in special bags for protection.
Who makes them?
They're not around anymore.
Well, who made them?
Bill had a friend who was a MacGyver guy for the Hollywood studios. They would come to him. He worked down south. These the Hollywood studio guys would come to this guy and say, hey, we need this to do that. Whatever, I don't know, electronic officer, whatever.
Right.
So he would do that. He'd make things for them to do certain things. So Bill knew him, and he said, yeah, let's get these 7-day home timers, light timers, turn on your lights and off at Home Depot. I'll get the schematics, and this guy will put everything together. And he did. For our timer, to put the camera in, the microphone, and for the door open and everything, they work great.
Wow.
Yeah, so this guy did it till he finally just his hands were shaking too. He's getting too old. He couldn't do it anymore. And then we found one guy up in Utah that did it, could do it. He recommended, and he made a one-timer each for me and Bill, send it to us to check, make sure they work. And we never heard back from the guy.
Really?
Yeah. But what was nice about the way he did his timers, the 9-volt would fit inside the timer, self-sufficient power. Okay, for what we wanted to do.
Right.
This guy put the 9-volt on the outside, so we didn't have to keep opening it up all the time. We just put 9-volt from the outside, it hooked in, and it worked great. That's what I have coming back to me right now this next week, that remote from my friend. So thank God that one didn't get taken. Oh boy, but yeah. So this guy did this, and we never heard back from him because we were ready to fork out some money. Hey,
well, why?
Yeah, and I don't know what happened to him. The guy never got back to us. So I don't know. Maybe something happened. I don't know. But yeah, sort of. So we went back to the guy who made the original timers. His name's Tom Rogers. He's out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, or out in White Sands, New Mexico. He made his own timers, and so we bought some stuff from him. What was left after the shuttle missions. So he had a few left, and we got some and stuff. So I have 2 of those left that are somewhere here, and so I'm gonna be testing those out once I get my camera back and everything like that. See, I can get away with 1 remote tube. So, but yeah. So what's nice about that? So that's how it works.
So when you say tube, walk me through what you
a remote tube. It's I bought these from Tom because he was getting out of it and everything. So I bought his remote tubes. It's a PVC piping, 10 inches long, 10 inches in diameter.
Okay.
And you can he has a rig that where you can stick the camera in there,
All right.
put the timer in there, has a remote door, and with our timers, it pops the door open right when they hear the timer hears the rocket.
Okay.
So everything's all tight and sealed.
Wow, that is pretty trick. That
It is
pops-
pretty trick, but we do that because we shoot at Vandenberg. We always have that bad weather all the time, moisture and stuff like that.
Right.
Some of these guys have their own rig ups in Florida, but
Yeah, like I've seen some guys that use like Home Depot buckets.
yeah.
Doors pop
Yeah,
open and
that's
then
Matt.
door closes and
So I'm going to sort of go to that to update my stuff. It's like it's 25 years old. So, like I said, all the stuff that was taken, it's old, but it's
right, but it
unreplaceable.
worked. But yeah,
It works. So now it's time to update. Okay, so I got one tube left. It's out there in the garage. So I can get away with the one position that we have now below the SpaceX pad. So I can, with the right, my camera 18-200 lens, Canon 7D Mark II, I can be wide enough down below to where I can get the launch and the booster coming back in one photo.
whoa,
Yeah, I can get both right there. Yeah, in the spot that we got just not too long ago, we got the spot below that. Yeah, I can have the rocket take off and just leave the timer on, and then the booster comes right back to land.
Is there any way the general public, not to be on the bases, but can be on the outside and shoot it and see it?
Yeah, there's two locations. What they do if the booster is not coming back for an LZ landing, it's gonna land on the drone ship. The public could come up right to the south gate and see the launch right there. Yeah, pretty close,
Whoa.
2.5 miles away. Comes right over the hill. Yeah, people, we shot from there before, and
Is it a cool view?
oh yeah, it's a nice view. But the thing is, if the booster's coming back to land, they roadblock off about like another 1.5 miles further away or 2
Okay.
miles away, just for safety concerns.
Sure.
Yeah. So that sort of sucks. But yeah, you can see right there.
Because SpaceX has really changed the fact that like they
Oh,
seem
yeah.
like they're launching all the time.
Oh yeah, here in Florida, they're constantly. Last year, I think Elon got 60 launches off for the last year.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's looking to do 100 this year, and he's staying on track for Florida and California.
Jesus
Yeah,
criminy.
he's just cranking them out.
Do you try to get out to as many as you can?
Well, the Vandenberg PR people there that we know, they don't do media support for Starlink launches because it takes money for them, manpower to babysit us or whatever up there
Okay.
on base because we've got to be escorted. So they don't do any Starlink, just NASA and government stuff.
Okay.
Like this last launch was a spy satellite type thing, so
Okay.
I didn't get to go up to that, but we go to those. But depending on what the weather's like, it really changed. The weather it delayed twice, and then went on the third day. The weather was supposed to be worse for the fog and everything, but no, it turned out the fog stayed somewhat high. It was clear on the pad. You could see from the press site and everything go up for maybe 5 or 8 seconds till it went into the clouds. So yeah, it did a reverse type thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Vandenberg is very tricky. We've seen it messed up and then it cleared out about 5 minutes
Boom.
before lunch, or vice versa. The fog comes in, it screws everything up. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We've seen it all there. Oh God.
What's your typical camera setup? What's your exposure?
Well, from the press site.
Yeah.
Yes. From the press site, I usually. Well, it depends. If it's a day launch.
Okay,
day
yeah,
launch,
right.
A day or night, it's different. Day
Sure.
launch, I just have pretty much that 150 to 600 lens, shooting about 2,000 of a second, TV mode, and when that thing lifts off, I shoot with a remote cord so the camera stays nice and steady as it goes above the pad. Then I follow it, track it, and everything like that, and I keep one other camera with a 28 to 300 just to stay a little more wide if I have to.
Okay.
Sometimes that does happen.
100 ISO at like what's that thing?
I set my cameras actually in auto ISO.
Right, because it's got to do this massive fluctuation because of the brightness, right?
Yeah, so that's always worked for me. A friend told me about that in the early digital days. I was
Right.
having problems.
Are you shooting raw now?
I never shoot raw.
Okay, still JPEGing.
JPEG fine.
Okay.
Yeah, raw takes. I mean, if it's a single shot like a streak shot at night, I'll do JPEG and raw because it's one
Okay.
shot.
Yeah.
But no, I never shoot raw because it just takes up too much memory. And so, And some of the news outfits I've shot for, they won't take it.
Right. They just want a JPEG.
Yeah, just JPEG fine. Like Reuters is that way. They don't want no RAW. So I remember I was told that. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, we can't take it because it's RAW. We have this rule. And I'm like, oh, geez. Okay, thank you very much. So, yeah, so I keep everything in auto ISO. It's always worked. And I just follow the rocket, and I keep the other camera on my shoulder just for a wider shot if I need it.
If needed.
If needed. Sometimes I do, yeah. The 150 is like a little bit too much. So.
Do you still get a little excited to go to a launch? Is still kind of a thrill?
Oh, yeah. Well, the streak shots. Yeah, I get excited about that because I do tests and stuff, make sure what works with the city lights and what doesn't work. So when I shoot the streak shot from above Simi Valley, okay, when that thing comes out from the mountains way to the north, it's 125 miles away. Yeah. And we're only going to see the streak for about a minute and a half. That's it. Because it's already taken a minute to get up.
Right.
Yeah. And so we really, just because the way these Falcon 9s aren't the same as the Deltas were and the Atlases were, we get that big smoke trail and everything. Oh, it was awesome. But not with these.
Much cleaner?
No, just they don't last that long.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. So when I did my first test shot over CB Valley, I try expose for a 2-minute exposure. That's it, just 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I get everything just right and do it. The last one came out pretty good, so it was just right. The rocket pretty much fizzes out till it gets the second stage ignite, but it's too much of a distance from where it stops on the first stage where the second stage. There's just too much of a gap. It's too wide.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just too wide. So one time I want to try the shot again because one shot I thought it might have been hoaxed. So down in Santa Monica, get it coming over the hill over the roller coaster and everything. So especially if it's going, I was aiming one way because of this photo, and I think at 12 o'clock and the thing came out at 2 o'clock. I go, what the hell is this thing coming out here? And I'm wondering if this photo, I was using this photograph to sort of line up the shot.
Yeah.
This is where the sky was. Okay, lined it up. So anyway, it didn't work out right. So
Jesus, that's weird.
Yeah, really weird. So next time, I'm going to set up a couple of cameras because when the first stage came down to the drone ship, you could totally see it from the south over behind San Pedro coming down over this. Now,
right.
Like, oh man, I didn't have anything set up for that. I'm like, oh, that's what's totally cool. So next time, I'm gonna have one camera aiming that way. I'll have the other one aiming south, and hit the cord when the thing starts coming down because they're right behind these homes on a hill.
Yeah, that
way
must
down in Mexico, but you could see it that far. It was a clear night. Oh yeah, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah. Yeah,
you've spent a lot of your career at very early mornings.
Oh god, it's during the shuttle times. Oh yeah, these times too. It's we got another launch coming up soon, in another week or whatever, but we don't know yet what day or time.
Yeah, I saw that. Right, they don't have a time; they just have a window.
Well, sort of. They got like from the 5th to the 9th.
Yeah,
but we don't know the timing. We know it's going to be a light launch, which is good, but being this rocket is not really quite that big, it's smaller than a Falcon 9, I'll probably have to go up to probably south of the Ventura Pier and get it from there, streak it across. Because we don't know if it's going to go west or southwest. We don't know yet. So I want to be ready to be closer.
So you got to have two just to kind of...
Not two, but it's just... Being it's a smaller rocket, being closer, like south of the Ventura Pier, it's a lot better. You're halfway there.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah, by halfway there. So, yeah, we're just waiting right now with that.
These private companies have completely changed all this launching. With the way
it keeps changing. Oh, yeah.
With Elon and Bezos getting into this and...
Well, Bezos and those guys, they're behind, but they're getting there.
Well, I mean, with how much launching they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, Elon, you got to remember, he had probably a 10 to 15 year head start over these guys. Right. He had his falls and everything and mishaps, but he got all the bugs out and it's working. But he had a hell of a head start before these guys did. That's why he's doing so good.
Does SpaceX have their own photographer, like someone know who's like, hey, there's Bill, and he,
Yeah, they got their own photographers in Florida, and they got their own in Oh, they
Out
got
here in
fuel,
LA?
up in California. Yeah, here in LA. El Segundo.
Do you rub elbows a lot with
Hawthorne,
them and know who
whatever,
they
something.
are? And like, hey, they're...
We never see them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're on base. We're on the outside of the fence. So, yeah.
Even at Vandenberg, you're still on the outside? You can't be...
Yeah, we're on the outside, but we got a hill shot that we see the pad right there. It's perfect for the launch and the landing. And we got this spot on the bottom where we get the rocket and the landing, too, for that angle.
Now, can you stay there or do you have to leave?
No, we said that's what we set up our cameras. We have to leave. So we have 2 hours or so to set up everything.
Okay.
And then we escorted off the base. And
Oh, so you're on the base with the gear, but you physically have to leave.
Yeah. We
Okay.
go to the press site.
Okay.
I think it's about 4 miles away. So we.
Oh, I got to come to a launch with you.
Yeah,
God, that
it'd be
sounds like
fun.
so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of everything doesn't, everything goes right.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
50% of the time, something's going wrong. Like this last one, it scrubbed for 2 days and it went on the third day. Yeah, it had a problem with one of the engines was hicking up or whatever. So that was a bit of a bummer. But yeah, there's always issues.
Have you tried any mirrorless with the new rockets? No,
Nope.
so everything's still
I don't
DS.
have any mirrorless. No.
Have you seen anybody who's doing like 30 frames a second shooting in this mirror?
Well, probably somewhat, but you really don't need 30 frames a second. I mean, only on certain things. These rocket launches, you can shoot 3 frames a second and get plenty of pictures.
Right.
These rockets are slow. So,
Yeah, it's
3 or 5 frames a
slowly
second.
getting up, and then it
Yeah, they start taking off. So, yeah, I shoot high speed, 10 frames a second when they take off and everything. So, yeah, you want to get all the pictures on the remote tube stuff. I keep all my cameras at probably 3 frames a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's plenty. Just
See-
in case something gets locked open and doesn't fill the card.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. Everybody probably thinks more frames is better.
Well, depending
but
what
not
it is.
really. Yeah.
No, not really. Yeah. Yes and no. So it just depends when it is. When we used to be able to shoot the Minuteman III missiles out of the missile silos, all those things are hauling ass. So yeah, as soon as we see the smoke, we just hit the motor,
hit the
hit the motor
plunger.
drive, hit the motor drive. It's going to come out of there really fast. Oh yeah, some of those things you do have to shoot fast. Like with the Delta, I used to do the same thing. I shot really fast with that because when the Delta ignited the engines and the boosters, there's always this fireball that came out. And with shooting at 10 frames, you get probably maybe 3 frames of this fireball coming out. It looks really hot.
Have you ever lost a camera? Totally like burned out or destroyed or
No, never did.
Knock
Yeah,
on
I got
wood.
lucky. But as long as you get the shot, okay. But I have
Sure.
one camera here that's behind you. I've always kept that for just in case of one of those kind of episodes of, okay, this is going to get wasted, but we get the picture, we're going to do
It's
good.
worth it, yeah.
It's worth it. But now they got the GoPros that do that stuff with no problem. They just flip around and they're fine in the case or whatever. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, sometimes those incidents do come up, and rockets blow up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had that happen already. So that's pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
It's interesting you've had this rocket career. Tell me about how you got into boxing, photographing boxing.
Oh, boxing! I've been doing that since I started in the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
April
but,
2000.
but
yeah.
it's like an interesting pivot. Like, oh, I'm also
Yeah.
going to dive into.
Well, that's when the digital cameras came in, the D1H or
Yeah.
D1 or whatever. Because I shot a boxing match before with film. It was a pain in the ass.
Oh God.
Oh, it was a pain in the ass. I go, okay, I'm waiting for the digital to come out. That's it. So it finally came out. I got my first digital camera. I talked with a friend for trick stuff or whatever. Yeah, he says, yeah, you're gonna buffer out fast. Back then, so yeah, I started in mid 2000s with the digital and
Daily News, shooting for the
did
Daily News.
stuff for that, and it worked great.
Did they not have a designated boxing guy, or did you just say
No,
like, "Hey,
no,
I'd be interested in it"?
I did for sports. I had to try. I'd never done it before, so I did it, and it was great. It worked out good. Had to learn the curve a little bit how to use the cameras back then, but it worked out fine because with those lights and everything, it looks like a sunburn on the guy's shoulders.
Right.
So my friend told me, be a half a stop under, and that would sort of help that. It did. So that was pretty good. Yeah, I started from that, and it just kept going, and still sort of doing it. I got one more fight at the end of the month I'm going to do, but yeah. That's,
who's fighting?
Caneo and Charo.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
In Vegas?
In Vegas, yeah, in the T-Mobile. So that's coming up. He's got about, I think, 2 or 3 more left. He signed a big contract with Danza for the zone that's on the web only. He's going to do 3 more fights with them. I think that's might be it for him. So
how many times have you made that drive to Vegas?
So many. Oh, God, so many.
Probably do it with your eyes closed.
I'm yet to get the tour bus to flip over with a bunch of people. I haven't got that yet. Yeah. I thought, one of these days I can get that tour bus full of all the people. It hasn't happened yet. Oh God, what a bummer. But yeah, I've tried hundreds of times just for different things. Too.
Sure.
Yeah. So I've done the CES show for over 30 years. That was always fun. Going up this next year probably be my last one because it's just changing too much.
It really has changed since COVID, huh?
Yeah, they're
and it's
really
kind of scaled back.
Yeah, well, a lot of the companies, they didn't want their employees. They didn't want to go. I totally understand. And so for all these years, for the press, they used to give out these media bags and everything. They haven't done it in the last 3 years. Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is coming to an end. But yeah, the one this year was okay. And but next year is sort of concerning because I check on rooms just to see way ahead of time, just to see what's available. Last time I did that for the Motel 6, like somebody bought out all the rooms. Sold out for the dates I want to go. So I tried again about a month before and some rooms opened up. Okay, cool. This year, I checked about a month ago and I was able to get rooms for a killer price. Yeah.
For January. Whoa.
For those dates, yeah. 8th through the 11th.
Right.
The days that we're going. So, yeah, so I'm like, okay. That's good, but
that's bad. It's
yeah,
good and bad.
No one didn't buy all the rooms, so yeah, I wonder it's going to be starting getting scaled back, it's always pretty much been a big crowd, but
sure.
Well, but during COVID, there was a lot of empty spots in the new convention center, west side. It was there was a lot of empty spots, and so that was sort of because I meant for the story though too and everything, but yeah, and we were all wearing our masks and everything, so a little bit of a drag, but yeah, they're all past that now. So
right.
a lot of companies are not there anymore.
Yeah, didn't make it or won't go.
I mean, the best one was Gibson. They always had that tent outside. They always had a good artist playing. Mm-hmm. Oh God, they had happy hour at 4:00 with the beers. Oh man, everybody was there having a good time. Oh yeah, that was fun.
What's the best boxing match you shot?
Well,
because sometimes it's not always like the marquee. Sometimes you get a great fight and it's the third card, or it's on a Tuesday at the Forum, or
something like that. Yeah, I mean, it probably had to be the Klitschko fight and Leon Spinks.
Really?
Spinks. Yeah. Klitschko was sort of getting beat up in the face, and he had a cut above his eye and below his eye. If Leon would have done the right punch, that eyeball would have came out. I got a great shot of him sort of looking at him with that blood and everything coming down. Oh, it was a great photograph. But I think that's probably one of the best ones, seeing those two big guys fight.
Right, just
back in those days.
Winging it at each other.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy. And one of the other ones was probably the fastest one, the fastest. A friend of mine told me about this one of the undercard fights. He says, yeah, you got to watch this guy. This guy, I think he was from Texas, and he comes into the first round like it's his 12th round. Yeah, he won't stop. He'll just go and just end it there. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, you got to watch this guy. And that's what this guy did. He went, they ring the bell. He goes in like it's the 12th round. He's got to score the points. He just went slugging on this dude. The guy had no chance to recover, and he took him out in the first round. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, the crowd went nuts. This guy was like the new Mike Tyson or whatever, but he was a small guy. But he went in it just goes in full bore slugging. I never saw him
completely overwhelmed the guy.
Oh yeah, crazy guy. I mean, it was incredible. That was the fastest one I ever saw. Wow. Yeah, one round. Yeah, wow. Even faster too. I've seen other guys get knocked out in the first round, but this This guy just came in slugging, and the other boxers just couldn't keep up with it. Just couldn't keep up and just punched him until he hit the ground.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. That was really something to watch. That was a lot of fun.
Wow.
So, but other ones and stuff. Well, one of the best ones was a fight in Vegas. Undercards are fighting, and Muhammad Ali came in with his daughters, and the boxers stopped as he walked by and sort of said hi to him and everything as he walked by. Then they continued the fight. Yeah, the crowd went nuts, and Ali was there, and he went to the boxers, and they went to their seats, and then they continued the fight. But they stopped because he came in. Yeah, they didn't realize that.
Jesus.
Wow.
They wouldn't even done that for the Pope or something. My
I don't
God.
know, maybe the Pope, but yeah, for Muhammad Ali, that was something. Yeah, before his time. So that was pretty cool to see that. So I got a good shot of the boxers stopping, waiting on Ali and everything. He sort of put his arm to him, and that was really cool. That was really great of them.
Oh,
And so
man.
yeah, that was something. Yeah, that was something else. And another one where the fight kept going, but everybody turned their attention. It was across the arena. All these people were getting trying to get a photograph of this guy with long hair in a wheelchair. I'm like, who the heck is this guy? Like, he looked familiar, so I got my zoom lens. I zoomed in. I can't remember the actor's name, but he played Jaws in the James Bond movies. The villain.
Right, yes.
Yeah, it was
tall,
him.
Tall gentleman, yeah.
Yeah, Jaws. So this is like the first time of appearance of him. He was in a wheelchair. His health was starting to decline, but everybody wanted to get a picture with him because he was so famous from the
As
James
being
Bond.
the villain, yeah.
Yeah, that was really everyone like forgot the fight and the attention went to him. Yeah, the cameras, everything. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, that was something to see that. So I got pictures. That was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. He was so friendly. He was posing with everybody. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, you don't get to see those kind of moments sometimes. Yeah, that happen like, oh man, it's what's his name or whatever. So I always go for celebrities at fights and stuff just to get pictures, just in case, just to have the last picture of them in case something happens. So that you never know.
You mentioned Doug's crash, and you photographed it, and you didn't know it was him till later.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What was the circumstances?
A semi truck rear-ended a car. He blew a red, or he didn't see him there at the red. He blew the red, hit him. The semi truck hit him, and so I went down there because of the fatal. So I got the firefighters, the truck, and them taking some stuff out the trunk. I didn't know what they were holding or anything, so I got some pictures. So I was in the area for something else. So I checked it out, shot it, and then I went to the office on Sunday to process the film and everything. And one of my other friend photographers came in and said, what'd you shoot? I go, oh, this accident the other day or whatever. He goes, where was it? I go, it was downtown LA, this semi around the back end of this car and everything. He goes, was that at, I think he named the streets. I go, yeah. And I'm thinking like, oh, God, is this a VIP? And then he told me, he goes, that was Doug Burrows. I'm like, what? That was Doug. He got killed. I'm like, I just froze and like, whoa. And yeah, that was pretty a shock. But yeah, he helped me out a lot. Those pizza nights, what was good, could make it better. Oh yeah, he was a blast. He was a blast.
Wow.
Yeah, great guy. He didn't live long enough to the digital age, unfortunately.
Right.
But
now, why didn't you process the film the day you shot it?
no, I processed it the next day.
Why did you wait?
It wasn't really that much of a
Past
important
deadline
story.
and
yeah, it was past deadline. It's like I think it was in the afternoon or something. So it was one failed and big deal. It wasn't a VIP or anything. So,
Right.
But I was in the area of something else shooting in, so I shot it and yeah, that was him. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember. That was back in the 90s when that happened. But yeah, my friend told me that was Doug and everything. I showed him the pictures, like, yeah, that's his car. And so I got a picture of the fireman like holding one of his cameras, all burnt up.
That's what they
yeah,
were.
it caught fire and everything. So they finally got the guy. Years later, they got him. The guy took off. And they got him down in Mexico. Years later, I remember.
Mexico.
Yeah, they finally got him, the detectives, to find out where he went and everything like that. And they used to they did stuff on a story on him and everything like that. So like, oh, they finally caught him. All right, good for for the family, a little closure there. So, yeah, so that's. But
Well, leave me with this. This is the most
Okay.
important thing, right? Your DJ times at the Black Angus. Tell me about it.
I was in photography. I was
spinning records at the Black
I
Angus.
used to spin records. I used to go there. We always hang out at the
Sure,
Black Angus.
there was they used to have a dance club, right? Like a little.
Yeah, it was a dance club, and we danced there and everything, and it was fun. And so I talked to the DJ and asked him, you need help or whatever. I was like, well, we started talking, so it sounded good, and I started doing stuff during the week and everything, and that was fun. But it was all with the records. Now it's, well, most of it's digital now, but they still use some of the records with the Technique spin tables.
Yeah,
those were the top ones.
Did you have a DJ name? Like DJ Photo
actually,
Guy or Shutterbug?
They call me the DJ's brother because we sort of look the same. They thought I was his brother. So, oh yeah, it's Mark's brother. Oh yeah, I'm Mark. I'm his brother. But no nicknames or anything like that. But it was a lot of fun. Made some okay money, But I still did photography stuff back then. I still went to fires and everything. Still building up the career. But it was a fun thing. I did that for about 2 years maybe, until we had that shooting out front. I covered that, and that's when everything changed and everything.
Of course, there was a shooting out front, and you covered it.
Yeah, I went there. I was already done doing that, but I got pictures, and after that, everything just started to change, and they got rid of the dance stuff, and that was it.
Are there even Black
The next door place was Bobby McGee's.
Yes, Bobby McGee's.
I stayed there. Oh, that place was great. Oh, those Tuesday $2 drink nights. Oh God, those were awesome. Oh yeah, that was awesome. So the Black Angus went out. The Bicycle Club was the other one on the other side before the hotel came in. So that was always fun to just hang around and drink with friends and stuff. And Bobby McGee's was fun. So they got rid of the dancing and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's a GB Breweries now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brewers or whatever. So Bicycle Club is gone. That's a hotel now. I think the Black Angus is still there as a restaurant, though.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those were the days. Those was fun.
The 80s, baby, with DJs and dance clubs and $2 beers on a Tuesday.
Oh, God, yeah. Even up in Laughlin was the same way. The $2 drinks up there. Oh, boy, at the Losers Lounge.
The Losers Lounge.
Now, you ever been there?
No.
I hope it's still the same. The reason why I always went to the Losers Lounge when we went to Laughlin, because it was all rock and roll and stuff like that, but they had pictures all inside the bar, the dance club, of losers through life. Something bad happened to them. So they had OJ's picture up there. They had the Buffalo Bills team photo because I guess they lost four
Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah, so the Titanic. So anything that Tim and Tammy Baker and her husband, they were losers. So they had photographs on the wall of all these losers through life. It was hilarious. I was so amazed at the photographs. Like, oh yeah, I remember that King Kong, on top of the New York Empire State Building, getting shot at the airplanes. Yeah, so something.
I hope that's still there.
I don't know if it is. I really hope it is because I always wanted to go back because there was one photograph I was amazed at. It was shot back in the 1800s. A guy hanging from a tree. Okay, he was being hung. Okay, but all these people, about 25, 30 people, stood there to get their picture taken with this guy hanging from a tree.
I've seen that photo. I know what you're referring to. Yeah.
Do you know who it is? I always wanted to find out who this person was.
But
that these people wanted to pose for a photo. You recognize what I'm talking about?
I know that photo. I remember that photo being historical for that purpose. Like,
okay, I figured it had to be somebody
and
somebody
people
famous
were having their picture taken
with this guy hanging from a tree. You're like, who in the heck is this guy? He had to be.
Yeah.
He had to be a.
It's like 1880 or 1890.
Yeah, I know it wasn't Billy the Kid, but
but it's something along that line.
Line of that era. So I've always wanted to go back there and ask the manager, "Hey, look, can we look behind this photograph?"
We can look that up. I bet someone. True. I bet someone right now is listening to this podcast and they're going to Google it and be like, "Oh, that's so and so."
Yeah, I've always been fascinated about that photograph because who was this guy? I mean, for all these people to get their picture with him hanging dead. Yeah, that was really fascinating to me about that. But yeah, the Losers Lounge. If anyone's up there ever goes there again at the Riverside Hotel, that's Don Laughlin's place. If it's still there, you'll see all the photographs in there, probably being added on as the years have gone on, of just losers of people. It's hilarious. Oh my God! You have if it's still there, you'll love it. You go in there like a museum, have a drink, and just look at all the photos. But yeah, it has all those kind of photos of what happened to people.
What's the best photo you've ever taken?
Well, it's gonna be a couple. I mean, I've had four Pulitzer contenders, all lost out to war photos.
Right.
But I
four contenders.
four contenders and lost to war photos.
God dang.
Yeah, because war is under. I called them. About something. I heard a rumor. I called the Pulitzer people to try to clarify this rumor. So, and war is under breaking news.
Yeah.
I'm like, that just shouldn't be it because it's a different factor. It was no breaking news when what happened to Ukraine. We all knew the Russians were building up everything, ready to go. They invaded. Well, that wasn't, when they started, yeah, okay, maybe breaking news, but they all knew that was going to happen.
It's been a year now. Is it still breaking news?
Yeah, no, it's
right.
I mean, so, but yeah, I lost out.
If someone came to you and said, Gene, can you make me a print? I want a print for my office. What's the one you would make them?
Well, depending on what they ask. I mean,
it's up to you. You pick me your favorite.
Well, the top four, like I told you, the contenders were.
What are they?
Well, there were older ones and newer ones.
But, it's okay. What are they?
It's probably gonna have to be the Bank of America shootout with the guy with the gun.
Okay.
And the Columbia
streak
coming over the dishes. Those would probably be the two favorites.
Okay.
That's been asked of me to make a print of that or something like that. Yeah.
What's the other two that lost out in the Pulitzers?
I got those with the one was these firemen jumping off a roof in Burbank as the house was exploding in fire. The one guy's in midair jumping off the roof, and the other guy's got the steel saw in his hand. Those people called me. They wanted that photograph. They saw it mid front page of Firehouse magazine, and I did really good with that. So that was pretty good. Watch the whole thing just blow up in a fireball. And then the other one is the medical building that caught fire and 150 oxygen bottles blew up.
Whoa.
It blew up. I was across the street trying to take cover behind the street because the fire guys, they left the fire engine there and everything because the whole building was starting to go in a fireball. So the whole place blew up.
They left and you stayed, Gene?
Yeah, they didn't know I was there. They were busy trying to fight the fire, but they told everybody, get out. There's oxygen bottles. The place is starting to explode. And so I went across the street behind a tree to take cover, and then the whole place just blows up. I got the picture of that too in there. The whole place blows up. The shockwave blows me off my feet, and the windows blew out. The two houses behind me got the windows blow out, and oxygen bottles started falling down the street that were coming from the building. Yeah, that was something. Whoa. Yeah, that was way back in the 90s. But I was trying to call my friend on the radio about it, but he was in Hawaii. Yeah, no good. But yeah, so the fire started there. They had over 150 bottles there. They started exploding from the heat. So they told me, get the hell out. They evacuated. I still was taking pictures, but I went across the street because none of the fire guys were there. I'm like, okay, I better get back. And so I went across the street behind a tree to take cover and still take pictures. And the thing just blew up. I just hit the motor drive. And as I kept shooting, I kept underexposing because it was so bright.
Right.
And I nailed it on the pictures. I was like just two stops under because it was so bright. And I got all the streaks and everything going out and everything. You ever see that photo?
Yeah.
So,
whoa.
Yeah, that was something. That was feeling a shockwave hit you and knock you off your feet.
Right.
That was something else. And then the windows blow out behind me at the two houses behind me.
Have you ever had any physical damage, like you're blown out eardrums or fire burns or?
No,
because you've covered fires and floods and.
I got a 2nd-degree burn from a cappuccino.
From a cappuccino?
Oh, yes.
That must have been one hell of a hot cappuccino.
It was cappuccino. It got spilled. I mean, because I just came back from the firestorms, okay, unscathed. So I go to this place to, have a coffee or something like this to relax. And the waitress sort of accidentally got hit, and I saw her get hit, and then she spilled the thing on my arm. And I had a big blister and everything. I can't believe this. I'm in the firestorm for 3 or 4 days, unscathed, thank goodness. And I get burned up from a cappuccino. Oh, God. That just, I got a free coffee out of it. So apologetic. But yeah, that was something. Yeah, it was a lot. That was funny.
You've worn bulletproof vests. You've watched rockets explode. You've watched people shoot at, and a cappuccino get you.
For burn, yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I think the only thing would be probably just the loud thing from jet fighters at air shows, the ears piercing. I don't mind that, but never got harmed from that. No, so no.
Did you keep your butt home in 2020, or did you get out and about when all hell was breaking loose in that summer, when they were rioting downtown?
Oh, I was out. I wasn't in that. No, I was.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I didn't. I've already done this.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I've had my share, and the way the people are today with that type of stuff, I had no interest in it because it just doesn't work my time.
Right. And it's absolute chaos.
Yeah, it's just I've been in the chaos. So yeah, with the LA riots, the Laker riots when they won and everything, that was down there at the Forum, well, not the Forum, but the Staples, and I was in the middle of that. That was crazy, and the Democratic Convention.
Yes, the National Convention.
Yeah,
was that 04?
It was back then. I don't know. We were on top of one of the hotels shooting down because it was really crazy down there. So that's when I got that great shot of the SWAT team blowing their weapons with it. I got the fireball coming out. So I shot at slow speed to try to make it more make it look good. And it came out great. Yeah. So that was I've been in it all. I don't mind the way I do it now. If I had to do it in these things, is I'll be on the outside of the box where all the crap is happening and shoot from the outside. Because these people these days, they hit photographers and everything like that.
Right.
And what happened January 6th in Washington, we'll have those guys. And of course, that was crazy. But they're that way now.
Yeah.
They don't know that, it's in the Constitution.
Yeah, there's no respect for the media. They'll just go after you because you're...
Not much, no. There's not the way it was, no. So, but,
What's Gene got next? What are you doing next? What's the next big thing for you?
Next big thing. Well, I liked this rocket launch coming up in a week. Hopefully it's not too late at night. And get that in. The other one would be, hopefully I can, I don't know, but I'll get back to Boca Chica, Texas for Starship, Elon's thing, for a second time. Went on the first launch 4 months ago. Was really something else. It was awesome and a lot of work. But I like to get out there for a second time, maybe see what happens if I can. I probably won't, but otherwise, the next big things coming up are the eclipses coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, October 8th, the lunar eclipse or annular eclipse. Sorry about that. And then next year, 24, the whole
solar eclipse, right?
Yeah. So those are. I like to hopefully get to cover one of them.
So like the one October 8th.
Okay.
When you're walking your process through your mind on that, what are you thinking? Like, what are you trying to find something?
Same thing as I did the one in 2017. Get something in the foreground.
Yeah.
So I found this place where the line of totality is, where it's crossing over Kern. One of the areas is Kernville, Texas. They got these two big statues on the hill.
Okay.
A big cross and some guy with a sword on a horse. Really cool looking. And so I would like to try to get that with those statues. If I can line it up. You only got 4 minutes.
Right. You got to bang it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you really got to be quick. So I had the experience back in 2017, did the one, and I went out to Casper, Wyoming, and did there at the college. It was really cool. They're really nice people up there. And the guy told me, well, if you want to get something, there was something I wanted to get in the foreground back then. And so the administrator told me, he says, well, we got this big T-Rex 2 blocks up the street. It was made in our shop years ago. And he's out there on the statue, and that might work. So I checked it out, and it worked out really good. So so I got the T-Rex metal carving thing. He's real big, almost full size. And with when the eclipse happened, that was something to see.
That's
that
cool.
Big hole in the sky. Everything turned dark blue. Everybody's firing off fireworks. But a ton of people there. They had a big convention there, Celestron, the big telescopes. So they had a big thing there near the college of people with telescopes and everything. So they really made for a good picture. I like that. I like to use people. Wow. So in my pictures, and so that worked out really good. And the eclipse happened. Just seeing this big hole in the sky for I think 4.5, 5 minutes.
That's cool.
That was great. The only thing was we got a little smoked out because we had a brush fire happening in it filtered out a little bit in Montana, so the smoke was coming over into Wyoming. So anyway, but yeah, that was really cool. That was a 2,600 mile trip. So I went up. This is how busy I went up for the eclipse, shot that for two or 3 days, then came back, went to Vegas, and did the Mayweather and Conor McGregor fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus, Gene, you put on some miles,
man.
man.
I put some miles on that one, but yeah, so I got a big eclipse and a good fight between Mayweather and Conor. So yeah, that was something. So, yeah, we got to go in the gym and shoot him and everything like that, and him working out. That was a lot of fun. So, but yeah, that took a lot of driving.
Whew.
I mean, I was really wiped out when I went through Utah. Oh, that place was so beautiful with the.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
With the lakes and the streams of water. I was that close to camp there, go to Big Five, get a fishing pole, get a 12-pack of beer, and just pitch camp near a stream. It was so beautiful and relaxing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so nice. Oh, I was almost going to do it. and say screw the fight. Yeah. But I had to go, so I just kept going. But yeah, I did that. So yeah, I slept in a van for like 2 days because all the hotels were sold out. They got rooms open finally, and then the last 2 nights I was able to stay in the room, so that was nice. But the van was okay. It worked.
You make it work.
Yeah, make it work. I brought cushions and air mattresses with me, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I had all that camera gear in there, and oh boy, it was crazy. That was a lot of fun. So that's what's coming up for April. For October and April next year.
Yeah. 24.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I'm going to the annular eclipse. I had plans to the closest crossing near here is for us is at Four Corners.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the closest here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The full eclipse, Kernville is going to be the closest in 24.
Okay.
So yeah, so I got 2 areas. I already got hotels for the other spot, but not the other. So we might just drive there and deal with it and drive back to New Mexico. So we'll see how it goes.
That'd be very nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want already. I always wanted this. There's so many stuff you want to do on the bucket list.
Yeah, you got to knock them off, right?
Yeah. So I've already done one eclipse. That was great. I've done annular. I learned my lesson on that one. I wanted the orange effect. I thought the silver covering would give the orange effect. It gives the white effect. You got to have the dark filter, to get the orange effect. I saw the guy doing it. He was holding it, watching it. I'm like, that's what I want. Why am I getting white? Because I had the silver. Yeah. A little lesson there for everybody who wants to shoot eclipses. If you want the orange, you got to get the black filter. On weather's mic. So I have that.
It's like a 10-stop filter?
Something like that, yeah. And same with the silver, but that will give you the white effect.
Yeah.
So it depends what you're after. Or do both.
Yeah.
But so, that was a bit of a bummer, but I learned my lesson in Wyoming, so I got the orange effect. It was really nice, especially with the smoke from the brush fire.
Yeah, the brush fire, I'm sure
gave
added
it a
some
little
warmth.
bit of filter. Yeah. So that was pretty nice. It came out all right. And, got the diamond ring effect. I always want to get that shot, so I got it. Great. And so I did that, so great. So I may go to that. I'm not too sure. It just depends what the schedules look like and stuff like that.
I love the fact you're still going for it, man.
No, I like what I do. And I've been doing it for so long, it's all what I know that I could do.
Right.
There's some things I can't do anymore. Yeah, be aggressive on the brush fires and stuff like that. It's, not worth getting burned for. But with the equipment these days and the technology, I could shoot from outside the box. Mm-hmm. If I was there at Washington on January 6th, you saw what happened.
Right.
All those guys are in there getting beat up and blah, blah, blah. I would have been sort of on the outside on something and just shot in.
Right.
And get what I could. Yeah, so that's the way I would have done it. Still get good pictures, maybe not the best, but you're not going to get hit or something.
Right, you're not going to get crushed.
Or get the attention of somebody, screw you, hit you
right
on the side. You'll be on the outside of the box. That's why I like that 150-600 lens from Tamron. You get so close now. That's like up to 900 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Oh
Jesus.
God, I hope I can get that lens back. Hopefully, like, or get another one. But I'll suffice with a 2 to 500 and put a converter on it and have
Make it work.
Yeah, make it work. I can make it work. If you can make it work, great. So yeah. So right now I'm good for right now until I get my cameras back and everything. Or from my friend from Florida, and then.
I am glad you answered my email and you said you'd want to come on because this has been an absolute unbelievable walk.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you didn't know.
Yeah, like it's phenomenal, man. You've had an unbelievable career and you're still going at it. It's fascinating.
Well, I mean, there's going to be that time. Yeah, you're going to have to hang up the cameras, which I don't like. But like my dad told me after I graduated high school, do something for this long that you like. They'll make life go by a lot easier.
Right.
A lot of people do what they do, they like it, and a lot of people do stuff they don't like. So I was already in photography, but which field I want to go was the decision I had to make, and I like the news.
Have you thought about when you might hang it up, when the time will come?
To be totally honest, retirement is not in my vocabulary. I'll probably just go until I drop. That's pretty much it. I saw older people shooting pictures as I was growing up in the field, and I go, well, I wonder if I can make it that long, So I'm not there yet. I mean, I don't feel my age.
Good.
So, yeah, I'm not even close. So I just go as I can. As much as I can, but things have changed. A lot of the outfits I did work for are not around anymore.
Right.
They're gone. The magazines are gone. And I mean, the things did last for a long time. I'm surprised they did, but they came to an end in that thing phase. So a lot of the off-road stuff and stuff I did now in Glamis and everything for Sand Sport magazine, I did that from 96 to 2015.
Right.
Yeah, that long I did stuff. It was like a paid vacation. I made money, and it was fun to do, shooting all the dune stuff and everything over the years. And that came to an end when my boss from there left. So, it's changed a lot.
When you put your head on the pillow, and you're going to bed, do you still right now look at it and go, man, it's been fun. It's been a crazy ride.
It went by fast.
Did it?
You did go. I mean, I remember doing my stuff in the early days, and now we're 2023. Like, okay, some people are going to start retiring. I go, I'm not there yet. Forget it. I want to keep going.
I know it's almost been 30 years since the Hollywood. It's been 20 years since Columbia.
You start adding up the years. I go, wow, that's been that long. Oh, geez. And like I went to the Apple store yesterday for to take in some old stuff to get a credit or something. Like,
right.
It was old, but it went past its value. It wasn't worth nothing. So they just do the disposal for it. But then I tried some other things on my phone and told the guy what happened with my laptop. And it's changed so much from 2013, the last time I was there, 10 years ago. Oh, man, it's like, I asked him about the speeds and everything of the laptops of the M1 chip, the M2 chip, and what about this M3, and he showed the lines of the speeds, was pretty impressive, but mine was on the bottom. I'm like, oh, geez, but it's fast.
That's right.
Yeah, it's fast enough. So.
That's like you. You're still on the chart, Gene.
I'm still on the chart, but on the bottom.
Yeah, but it's all right. You're still on the chart, my friend. You're not off the chart. That's
not yet. Yeah, probably will be in a few years. I'm expecting that. So yeah,
at least you were on the chart. You look at it that way.
Well, sort of, yeah. At least I got from the Apple Tech guy. Yeah, there you are, Gene. You're down there. This is what you got. I'm like, he goes, yeah, that's the last iCore 7 chip they made before they went to the M1. You're there.
You're there.
But what you got now is about 3 times faster anyway. That's
than where
enough.
You were. Yeah.
That's enough. So, so I still want to, keep going out to the storms and everything, but we had nothing this year. Not a monsoon. Got horrible. But it gets rough these days because my car's getting older. The gas is over $5.
I know.
Yeah, so I
was in Pismo Beach yesterday. It was $6.29.
Oh, Pismo.
$6.29 a gallon.
Ouch! And we're bitching down here.
Yeah.
Holy! Are they still riding on the beach?
That's where we just stopped, and I looked at that Shell gas station. And I said, "Holy crap!"
Were you out of gas? Or
No. We were just having dinner right next to it, and I just saw that, and I just thought, oh my
God, up to $6. Oh my God.
God Almighty.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Lucky.
And then I hear politicians telling me, no, things are doing great. And I'm, really? $6.29 is not great.
No, it's not. I mean, luckily the two gas stations up the street here, they're staying at $4.89.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't gone past $4.89 for a couple of weeks. They've stayed there. That's it. So I don't know how long that's more or how much more that's going to last, but yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of the expenses, the inflation, it really affects it if you don't have anybody sort of helping them with the expenses.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do get help with that. Sometimes I don't. So,
yeah, then it really, you start to count and think about, is it worth going out there for that photo?
Is it worth? Yeah, like I'm thinking about the eclipse events coming up. Is it really worth to go this far for a 4-minute show and then go and start heading back?
Right,
So
and
I'm like,
hopefully you get a return on it.
yeah, if so. Luckily, I was able to do the Starship launch, the first one in Texas, because Reuters gave me the okay. They'll take about expenses. They're very good with that, and they did. I kept the record of all of my expenses and everything on the whole trip. I think it was only like a 10-day trip. And, yeah, they took care of everything. So I'm like, okay, great. They did it. So that really helped on the trip.
Sure.
I mean, I try to keep it on the cheap, you know.
Right. You're not staying at the Ritz-Carlton.
No, I'm staying at the Super 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's nice. I can park the car right there. It has a microwave and a refrigerator.
Right.
Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. And it was only $80 a night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah, you go to a grocery store, you get a bunch of food, throw it in there, you
and
microwave
that's what I did.
it.
I went over to Walmart and got, I think, a dozen TV dinner things, spaghetti dinners.
Yep.
And that helped. That fed me good for like 4 days for lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of the locals there, like they were talking about it, that they were saying that a lot of the restaurants and bars there, that their dinners and everything went up like $5 or $7. And they were all bitching about that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I heard that. I'm like, okay, I'll just go to the Walmart and I got a case of beer and a bunch of TV dinners.
That's it.
That's it.
That'll hold you over.
That hold me over. So that worked good. And at the launch, I just, nothing was open yet. So I had to go to the Subway the night before they closed and get a couple of sandwiches and have that for the next day. And that paid off big time. Oh, I didn't have to leave. I had my lunch right there, my icebox. It was great. It worked out perfect. It was good. It helped out a lot. So, but yeah, just trying to get to these other events. It's just, yeah, is it really worth it? Like I used to go out a lot, do the storms and everything, but of course we didn't have any really come close this year. But it's not worth, with
Right.
gas.
It's not worth the chase.
$5, $6. Yeah, you get your money back on that or not?
No.
No, most of the time, no. Same thing with the boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, in Vegas. Okay. What I do now is I just go up Saturday morning, leave around 9, 10 o'clock, get up there in 4 or 5 hours, park at a special place I know where at, and I just go there, get checked in at 3 o'clock, whatever, and then I go shoot the fight. I get done about 10 or 11, and just go right back to my car and just zip back home.
Really?
Yeah, in one night. So I get home about 2 or 3 in the morning. So it's a bit of a drag, but let's say I just have gas expense.
Yeah,
That's
it.
No
hotel, no
hotel.
food.
Yeah, no food. Just the stuff's gotten so expensive. Just for the Motel 6, they wanted like $200 for the night.
Right.
I'm like, come on, you're a Motel 6. No. So I said, screw it. I'll just go.
See, that's where you got to get one of those Sprinter vans so you can sleep in the Sprinter van.
Believe me, I'd like to hack that, but I like to get the drive out of the way. So I get home 3 in the morning. I'm tired, but I'm home.
Yeah.
I go crash.
It's
on
your
my
bed, crash.
It's my bed. Yeah. So I could do that. Take one of those fire drinks. I do that with a couple hamburgers from McDonald's. 2 of those with a fire drink. That'll keep me up. Just cruise and just cruise home.
Right. No rush.
No rush. Just
plus you don't get that Sunday traffic you have to deal with on the way home on to Vegas.
Oh yeah, that's
and there's nobody really on the road at 2:30 in the morning coming home from Vegas at that point.
No, there's still traffic, but
but it's not like Sunday morning.
No, it's like less than 50% traffic, so it's real easy. Just the truckers and a few other people. So, that makes it easy as just get the drive out of the way. You're home.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how that's going these days. So I don't know how much more fights I'm going to do because all the fighters that I've shot through the years since mid 2000, they're pretty much have done their time. They retired. COVID screwed up a lot of things, but there's the new generation. But a lot of my clients don't know these guys.
Right.
They just know the big names. So
they're not interested.
Yeah, they're not interested. There's no interest. Yeah. So Canale's still good. And Charles, he's moving up really good. So that'll be a good bout when that happens at the end of September. And do that, and I don't know, that might be it.
Go from there.
Go from there, see what happens. Yeah. So it's been a crazy career. It went by fast. I'm not done with it yet. So I still do things. But yeah, a lot of people are still they're not around anymore, or the outfits are not around anymore.
Right.
That's a big challenge right there. So yeah, I can't make money on this. I can't make money on that because, well, they're not around anymore.
Right.
So they're all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they closed up or whatever, retired, or all the stuff. So, and especially now with a writer strike going on and everything, I know a lot of the entertainer photographers are.
They're dying.
Oh, they're dying.
Dying.
They're dying. I'm hearing all kinds of stories about some of the ones I know, and I mean, yeah, they're going on their 5th month now.
Yeah.
Or the next week, 5th.
I got to reach out to Mitch, see how he's doing.
Oh, really?
At Dad, see how he's shooting. I think for ABC, and no one's working.
No, there's no red carpets and stuff.
Nothing.
Like that. It's all gone. So, yeah, who knows how it's gonna be gone. Though I did get a tip on something. Can't really. I'll give it 50% reliability. It's probably going to get out. I sent it to a couple of news people I know to check it out, but I guess the word is, if the strike goes into November, it's going to affect the Super Bowl commercials. They won't be made.
Really?
And that's going to cost the NFL billions of dollars. It's from a source, not bad, but want to get the record right. See if that's going to be true or not. But yeah, if it's not done by, I guess, the 1st of November, it's going to affect those commercials.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never heard that before. I'm like, okay, this is from an advertisement person who flies around first class every time, finest hotels. So this is a
person in the know.
A person in the know. And he mentioned that, and like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know
it's
who
crazy.
It was. Don't know the name, but 50-50 on the information. I sent this a couple of my news contacts, say, hey, check this out, see if you're hearing anything. I guess another friend told me, he says, yeah, that's when they start the commercials, is in November for the Super Bowl in February.
Right.
Yeah, that far in advance. So that will affect it. And he said at the beginning of November. Yeah.
Wow. I'm
like, whoa. And already we're hearing that it's going to go into next year already.
Right.
We're hearing that already. We'll see what happens, but yeah, those guys are. Oh, geez,
it's rough.
It's rough for them. I know quite a few, and they're still doing that stuff, and used to be doing that stuff.
Right.
But I don't know what they're doing.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we were able to take the time and sit down here in your kitchen and discuss your career, because it has been absolutely unbelievable.
It's been one of a kind. Yeah. I mean, you got the information from me
from the horse's mouth.
Out of the horse's mouth, what the story was and what wasn't. So there was. Yeah, you can ask me anytime. So yeah. So
thank you. This has been awesome.
Oh, this is fun. How you do this here now with just the 2 mics and a board thing. That's it.
It's all
Compared
we do.
20 years ago when it was all a bunch of stuff.
No radio station here.
It looked like a radio. It looked like a radio station in his room. I'm like, man, what did you pay for this? Oh my, this is like 10% of it. Oh, this is nice and easy.
Thank you, Gene. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. It's been a fun ride, and I hope I can keep going at it as long as the good Lord lets me do it.
Absolutely, Gene.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I just can't sit still.
Good.
I can't. So I got to go. So that's why I like to go to these places while I can, and because there comes a time you can't do that anymore. And
right.
Sort of sucks, but oh well, that happens.
You're the best.
Yeah, I've been great. I'm glad I helped you out. And well, if we needed to redo this,
no, hell, you're the man.
Let me know.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much. You've heard anything? Got any more questions?
No, you're. That's it. I'm gonna give you your day back.
Today's a cleanup day. So
cleanup day.
Yeah. Sunday's the cleanup day. Get stuff cleaned up for your coming, and here and everything. So I did a lot. You should have seen what this looked like before. Oh God, it's all in that trash bag right there. That's where it's at. Yeah, that's where it's at. All that stuff, trash, all out of the way. So at least I got something cleaned up.
Well, I appreciate it, Gene.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
It was a lot of fun.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to part 2 of my conversation with Gene Blevins. If you enjoyed this episode, please tell a friend, click the like button, and become a subscriber to the podcast. Remember, you can follow the Just a Good Conversation podcast on Instagram, and you can find all of our past shows on the website at justagoodconversation.com. Thank you for listening.